The funeral invitation. ####A story of betrayal, silence, and the sweetest revenge. The invitation arrived on a Tuesday, crisp and cream-colored, sealed with a wax stamp of a single magnolia blossom, the flower his late wife used to grow in the front yard. You are cordially invited to the memorial service of Mr. Thomas James Whitaker. Saturday, October 18th, 11:00 a.m. Willow Creek Baptist Church. A celebration of life. Light lunch to follow. ***. Sarah stared at the card in her manicured hands, the gold foil lettering catching the light of her downtown Atlanta condo. Dad's dead? She hadn't spoken to him in 15 years. Not since the day she'd told him, over the phone no less, that he was holding her back. That his little farmhouse in Willow Creek, Georgia, smelled like mothballs and regret. That she couldn't keep pretending to be the daughter of a man who still used a flip phone and wore the same flannel shirt to church every Sunday. She'd been 28 then. Newly married to Ryan, a tech VP with a Rolex and a 5-year plan. They'd just closed on a $1.2 million loft in Midtown. We're building a brand, Sarah, Ryan had said. **, your dad doesn't fit the aesthetic. **. So she'd cut him out. Clean. Like trimming dead leaves off a bonsai. No birthday calls. No Christmas cards. Not even a text when her son, Liam, was born. Or when her daughter, Harper, started kindergarten. Or when Dad's prostate cancer went into remission. A miracle she only learned about from a cousin's Facebook post. Now at 43, with highlights that cost more than Dad's monthly electric bill used to be, she held the invitation and felt something crack inside her chest. Guilt? Curiosity? Or just the primal pull of inheritance? Ryan glanced over from the kitchen island, sipping a $60 bottle of Pinot. **, who died? **, my dad. **. He paused. Didn't he own land or something? She nodded slowly. A couple acres. Maybe. Ryan's eyes lit up. The same way they did when a startup he invested in got acquired. **, we should go. Pay respects. See what's what. **. ### The drive to Willow Creek. The Tesla hummed down I-75 South, past billboards for Chick-fil-A and personal injury lawyers. Sarah wore black. Not out of mourning, but because it was slimming. Ryan wore a navy suit and the expression of a man calculating square footage. **, you think the land's worth anything? **, he asked, merging lanes. **, it's just dirt and pine trees. **, dirt and pine trees near a growing corridor? That's gold, babe. **. She stared out the window. The last time she'd driven this road, she'd been 27, pregnant with Liam, crying because Dad had offered to sell his tractor to help with the down payment on her condo. She'd screamed at him. I don't need your charity. I'm not some charity case. Then she'd blocked his number. ### the church. Willow Creek Baptist hadn't changed. Same steeple. Same cracked parking lot. Same smell of lemon polish and fried chicken from the fellowship hall. But the crowd, that was different. Hundreds of people. Farmers in overalls. Waitresses from the diner. Kids in Cub Scout uniforms. A woman in a wheelchair holding a pie like it was the Stanley Cup. And in the center of it all, a giant photo of Dad, smiling in that flannel shirt, standing in front of his farmhouse with a for sale sign behind him. Sarah's stomach dropped. Ryan leaned in. **, whoa. That's a good sign. Sold recently. **. She didn't answer. She was staring at the casket. It was closed. And on top sat a single magnolia blossom. Fresh, dewy, impossibly white. ### the service. The preacher, Reverend Daniels, same as when she was a kid, took the podium. **, Thomas Whitaker wasn't a rich man by the world's standards. But he was the richest man I knew. He gave away more love, more pies, more second chances than any soul I've ever met. **. Sarah shifted in the pew. Love. Pies. She remembered Dad burning toast. Forgetting to pick her up from piano lessons. He was a mess. Then the testimonials began. Martha Jean, the diner waitress. **, Mr. Tom paid for my chemo when insurance wouldn't. Said, ain't no child of mine going without. Asterisk. Jamal, a teenage boy in a cap and gown. Asterisk. He tutored me every Tuesday after school. Told me, boy, you ain't gotta be blood to be family. Asterisk. Mrs. Lopez, the orphanage director. Asterisk. Last month, Mr. Tom donated his entire estate, land, house, savings to Willow Creek Children's Home. Said he wanted every kid to have a porch to sit on, and a grandpa to tell 'em they're enough. Asterisk. Sarah's breath caught. The entire estate? Ryan gripped her hand hard. Asterisk. How much are we talking? Asterisk. He whispered. She couldn't speak. Hashtag the letter. After the service, Reverend Daniels approached with a sealed envelope. For Sarah Whitaker Keller. Only to be opened in private. She waited until they were back in the Tesla, parked under a magnolia tree. Ryan watched. She tore it open. My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, I'm gone. And you're finally here. I won't lie, it hurt when you stopped calling. When you didn't come to your mama's funeral. When you let Ryan tell you I was embarrassing. But I never stopped loving you. I just stopped waiting. 15 years ago, you said I was holding you back. So I let you go. I sold the farm last year. Not for pennies. $4.2 million. The state needed it for the new highway. Turns out, just dirt and pine trees was a gold mine. I could have bought a condo in Florida. A boat. A big screen TV. Instead, I gave it all to the kids at Willow Creek Children's Home. Because they never called me a burden. They called me Grandpa Tom. You taught me a hard lesson, Sarah. Family isn't just blood. It's who shows up. Asterisk. I showed up for them. You didn't show up for me. But here's the thing. I forgive you. Not because you deserve it. But because I deserve peace. If you ever want to know the man I became, ask Martha Jean. She'll tell you about the pies. The porch swings. The kids who called me dad. Or don't. Live your beautiful life in Atlanta. Post your perfect photos. Keep pretending you don't have a past. Just know this. I buried you a long time ago. Today, you're just attending my funeral. With love always. Dad. P.S. The magnolia on the casket? I picked it this morning. Wanted you to remember how your mama smelled when she hugged you. Hashtag the aftermath. Sarah sat in the Tesla, tears streaming, the letter trembling in her lap. Ryan was already on his phone Googling Willow Creek Land Sale 2024. Asterisk. There's no way he gave it all away. There's gotta be a trust. A loophole. Asterisk. She looked out the window. Kids from the orphanage were playing on the church lawn, laughing, chasing each other around a brand new playground with a plaque. In memory of Grandpa Tom Whitaker. Asterisk. He loved us when no one else did. Asterisk. She opened the car door. Asterisk. Where are you going? Asterisk. Ryan snapped. Asterisk. To say goodbye. Asterisk. She walked across the grass, past the swings, past the magnolia tree. Martha Jean was there, holding a pie, apple, extra cinnamon, just like Dad used to make. Asterisk. You want a slice, honey? Asterisk. She asked gently. Sarah nodded, throat too tight to speak. They sat on the porch steps of the children's home. The same porch Dad used to sit on, whittling sticks into animals for neighborhood kids. Martha handed her a fork. He talked about you every day, she said. Asterisk. Not with anger. With hope. Said one day my Sarah'll come home. Asterisk. Sarah took a bite. The crust was flaky. The filling warm. It tasted like Saturday mornings. Like forgiveness she didn't earn. He really gave it all away. Asterisk. She whispered. Every dime, Martha said. Asterisk. Said money can't buy back lost time. But it can buy a future for kids who ain't got one. Asterisk. Hashtag epilogue. 1 year later. Sarah sold the Tesla. Moved out of the loft. Divorced Ryan. He kept the Rolex. She kept her dignity. She bought a small house in Willow Creek. 2 bedrooms, wraparound porch, magnolia tree in the front yard. Every Saturday, she bakes pies with the kids from the children's home. They call her Miss Sarah. Some call her Auntie. She never misses a birthday. Never forgets a name. never lets a child feel like a burden. And every October 18th, she places a single magnolia blossom on a small plaque in the garden. Thomas James Whitaker. 1948, 2024. Asterisk, he showed up. Asterisk. She still cries when she reads the letter. But now the tears taste like cinnamon and second chances. The end. For the reader asterisk asterisk. What would you have done? Would you have opened the letter? Burned it? Or shown up to the funeral with a lawyer? Drop your thoughts below. And if this story moved you, share it, because sometimes the best revenge isn't money. It's becoming the person they said you'd never be. Inspired by real stories of family, forgiveness, and the quiet power of a life well lived.